Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel and happy new year. I hope you had an awesome holiday because I did. So in today's tutorial, we'll be making this beautiful gown with Ankara yoke and a fancy pocket for a 3-year-old, 2 or 3-year-old. So without wasting much of our time, let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is to take the gown measurement. That's the full gown measurement. So in this case, our gown measurement, the full gown measurement is about 22 inches. So I added 1 inch extra. That's for sewing allowance. That's why I'm marking 23 inches down there. Then the next thing we're going to do is to determine the shoulder measurements. You just measure your shoulder and divide it by 2. In this case, I'm having 5.5 inches. So I went ahead to mark the 5.5 inches. And then the next thing is the armhole. In this case, I'm taking 5 inches. So you see me marking 5 inches, like so. I'll go ahead to join the line for the armhole, just like that. And so the next thing is to determine our neck width. So for the neck width, I'm taking 2.5 inches. For the length, that's neck length, I'm taking 2.5 inches, so 2. Then I'll go ahead to make the curve. So the next thing is to go ahead to take out 1/2 inch on the shoulder. That's for the shoulder slant. Then I went on to join the lines and also make the curve for the neck measurement. So in this case, our fabric is folded into 2. So when cutting, I'm only going to be cutting the front first before the back. Our fabric is folded into 2. So to draw our armhole curve, we determine the center, that's the midpoint of the armhole length. We marked out 1/2 inch and I went on to connect the curve. Just like so. Now next measurement is our chest measurement. In this case, I'm taking 6 inches. I went on to add 1 inch sewing allowance because this dress, you're not going to be lining it. So 1 inch sewing allowance. Then for the bottom part of the dress, I'm going to be taking 9 inches. Now I'll go ahead to use my ruler to join the lines. So I left a little, about 1/2 inch for just to add to the 9 inches I measured for the bottom part. So now I'm cutting out the neck measurement for the front part of the dress. So I'm cutting just 1. Now for the back part, I'm going to come down by 2 inches. Then I went ahead to draw the curve and then I started cutting out the excess fabric for the whole dress. So for the back is going to be having a slit because I'm going to be attaching button. So I'll slit the back open. I'm taking about 4 inches here. I want it to be a bit low. That's down. So if you add the 4 inches to the 2.5 inches we took initially for the neck depth, we're having about 6.5 inches. And then I cut it open just like so. Now our front and back pieces are ready. So the next thing we are going to go ahead to do is to cut the facing. This is what the back part looks like. And that's the front part. Okay, so before we cut our facing, we are going to be determining how we are going to cut the yoke. That's taking the measurements for the yoke. So in this case, you can do as you please. If you want it to be big, you want it to be small. In my case, in this case, as you can see, I marked it out And then I went ahead to use my chalk to join the lines I marked like this. Now I'm going to cut out the upper part and we are going to be attaching our Ankara fabric to it. Now back to our yoke, I folded this fabric into two. Placed my front fabric on it, making sure that they align with each other. That's the center front aligns with the center yoke, just like so. And then I went ahead to cut out the yoke. Sorry, I meant to say the facing. So this is me just trying to cut out the facing. Now I'm done with the front facing. Then for the back facing, I still went on to keep the fabric on two-fold. Place the back, the back piece of the dress on the folded fabric. Just like so, making sure that they align properly. And then I went on to cut it out. Now I'm done. This is the front facing and this is the back facing. So back to our main piece of fabric, this is what our yoke is going to be looking like. So I'll go ahead to cut it out. Now I'm done. I'm going to be using that piece to cut the Ankara. So I placed it on my Ankara just like so. You have to place it properly, and then after that I went on to mark out 1 inch at the down part. That's the part where I'm going to be joining the yoke to the main dress. I'm marking out 1 inch, as you can see. That's the sewing allowance. Then after marking that out, I'm going to go ahead to cut out. I'm done cutting it out. This is what I have. So I'm just going to go ahead to pick it up and place it on my main piece of fabric. So for the pockets, we are placing the fabric on fold for pockets. And then after placing the fabric on fold, I went on to draw the pocket shape just like so. The fold is on the upper part. The sides and the down part is actually open. So now I'll go ahead to sew it just like so. I'll sew it round, then cut it somewhere and then turn it. So for the main dress, we are going to be attaching the Ankara yoke on it. So you just go ahead to attach it just like so and go ahead to sew it. Sew 1/2 inch. And then after sewing, we turn it over, making sure that your front piece is placed, the right piece, the right side is facing each other, sorry. And then this is what we have. This is the back, that's the inside, and this is the outside. Now we're done with that. The next thing is pocket. I'd already gone ahead to sew around the pocket, so I'll just go ahead and slit it open, turn it over, and then iron. Now I'm done ironing. This is what I have, so I'll just go ahead and place it on my fabric. You can place it anyhow you want it, any way you want it. If you want it straight, you want it slant, you want it down, you want it up, that's totally dependent on you. But in this case, I'm just going to place it just like you can see. And then after placing it like that, I went ahead to use my pin to secure it on the fabric, so it will be easy for me to sew. Now I'm done doing that. I took it to my machine. I sew it together with the main fabric, and this is what we have. So now we are going to be joining our facing to the main fabric. So now place your fabric with front side of the fabric facing the front side of the facing. So it's top stitch and then turn it over. And this is what you're going to be having. Don't also forget to hem the down part of the facing. As you can see, I hemmed the down part. Now the front part is ready. Then for the back part, also do the same thing, placing front sides to face each other, because we are going to be attaching buttons. So I'm going to be preparing this for the button. So I kept it down, folded the two sides inside, and then folded it up again. Then you can also take it to your machine to secure those folds. Now after that, you are just going to bend it like so. Place it on the main fabric. This is the back, on the right side, and then cover it up with the facing, and then sew. But if you cannot do it like this, you can just go ahead to secure it first before adding the facing, and then sew it all around. I actually forgot to trim out the sides of the dress, so that's what you're seeing me do. Just trimming out so it doesn't, so it looks good. And now we're done with the back. This is it, our facing. That's for the button, and that's on that. Then we'll go ahead to join the shoulders of the dress together. With the right sides facing each other, place the back and front fabric, then join the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I went ahead to join the sides. And I'm done joining the shoulders and the sides. So the next thing we're going to be doing is to hem the bottom part of the dress. I folded it in two places just like so, and then I sew it around. I'm done sewing. I also ironed, and this is the result. Then for the sleeve, for the armhole, I'm just going to go ahead to pipe the armhole round, and that's that. So our dress is almost ready. I've piped the armhole, and that's what we have. Now this is the back. I'll just go ahead to fix the button. So our dress is ready. Thanks so much for watching, guys.